Today we'll be looking at the Asia countries no outlines minefield quiz. I'll be doing this with skips. Um, and if you want to see me try this with no skips, just let me know. Uh, yeah, let's give this quiz a go. Myanmar, this is just to the east of India, though. Let's save that for a little bit later. Same thing with Timor Leste. We know where that is, but Iran is the big one down the center of the Asian peninsula, kind of at a crossroads of all the different states. Singapore, this is the city-state kind of on the edge of Malaysia. Actually, it was formerly a part of Malaysia that was one single country before. Kazakhstan, we'll get to that when we see Russia. North Korea, that's the northern portion of the Korean peninsula. Bhutan, not just yet. We'll need India if we want to do Bhutan. Laos is to the north. Let's get Cambodia first, though. Azerbaijan, we can just press Baku right here. See this tip of the Caucasus that points into the sea? This is Azerbaijan. Tajikistan, I want to say the stands for later. That will definitely be difficult for myself. Indonesia, with this island chain right here, just below Malaysia. Taiwan, of course, that country next to China. Is it a country? That's always a question. Saudi Arabia. So we have this big country, the biggest in the Arabian Peninsula. Armenia, so this is sandwiched between Azerbaijan and its western exclave. There's been fighting there as of 2020, of course, so there's always stuff going on that front as well. Oman, we have this right here in the Arabian Peninsula, like the southeast portion of it. Cambodia, of course, that's here sharing a border with Vietnam and coastline as well. Laos does not, so that's how we'll find Laos. India, the big one, of course, down the center. Palestine, I will get to Palestine. I'm, of course, going to have to first take care of the other country in the neighborhood to get to Palestine. Russia, the big one north, that actually opens up a lot of different countries for us now. Maldives, it's the island chain just southwest of India. Don't confuse this with Nepal. Nepal is actually a big island. Yemen, Yemen is to the it's opposite Oman. Brunei, Brunei is going to be. We'll get to Brunei. So first we want Malaysia, and that'll make our lives easier with Brunei. China, that's of course this big one right here. Lebanon, not just yet. Of course, I'm looking for that one very there they are. That's Israel, of course. And I'm just going to say this with a preface of Free Palestine. Where's Lebanon now? And Jordan. We can actually do all of these now. So Jordan, or Lebanon, just north of Palestine. Palestine here. We can press on the West Bank or Gaza. Brunei, not just yet. Okay, Philippines, that's this island chain here, kind of locking in around China. South Korea, of course, that's just north of North Korea. Georgia, that's the last of the Caucasus. Sri Lanka, right here to the southeast of India. Kuwait, so Kuwait is actually right here on the edge. Really famous for kind of oil and like being the northernmost of the Gulf states, kind of alongside the rest of the Arabic world. Qatar, so this is basically, you see UAE, there's just basically this kind of thumb that sticks out from the Arabian continent. Next to UAE is Saudi Arabia, that is Qatar. Thailand, we're going to save Thailand for later. The stands, of course, as well. Syria, we can do Syria now. Syria is actually this country right here, and that leaves us with Iraq just next to it. Nepal is this kind of long chain of the I believe this is the Himalayas, landlocked between China and India. And then there's Kyrgyzstan. We want to save the stands. Malaysia, this is what I've been waiting for. This kind of gives us Brunei when we want Brunei. Japan, obviously right there. Mongolia, right there. Stands, again, we're going to save. Pakistan will be the first one to tackle because that's right next to India. UAE, and I myself am Pakistani, fun fact. UAE, right here, north of Oman. Turkey, right here. Afghanistan, just northwest of Pakistan. Bangladesh. Now, the map doesn't do this correctly. This is actually completely surrounded by India. But here we see it has a shared border in this map with Thailand. Timor Leste, that's easy. That's basically a new country that was created out of Indonesia, one of the islands of Indonesia, because it had a heavy Christian population, I believe. Kazakhstan, so that's going to be this big stand country right just south of, underneath, folded into Russia. Bhutan, that's the small country next to India. Laos, that's skinny nation that borders Vietnam. It's landlocked by Vietnam and Cambodia. We'll save the stands for later. They're obviously a little bit difficult. Brunei, that's a tiny, I believe it's oil-rich or gas-rich nation, energy-rich nation, um, alongside Malaysia and Indonesia, again a Muslim majority country out there. So here's the stands. Bahrain. Bahrain is a really small island just next to Qatar. And then we're gonna get to, of course, the stands in a bit. Myanmar. This is the country that directly borders India to the east. So once we get that, we now have Thailand as well. So let's just do Thailand as well, and that leaves us with, of course, stands. So the kind of rule of thumb I follow is with the stands is Afghanistan, which is directly north to the north of it. That's Tajikistan. Uzbekistan is like to the north. Not you don't want to go here. It's like kind of split in the middle of Tajikistan. So you do that, and that gets you Uzbekistan. So it's just north of Tajikistan, center of Tajikistan. Kyrgyz and Turkmenistan. So Turkmenistan, the way you know about this is basically Turkmenistan, I believe is sharing the coastline here. That's kind of one way to devise it. And then I guess a fun fact about Kyrgyzstan, I believe this is, of the stands, the only non-Turkic ethnic group. They're actually ethnically Persian, like the Iranis. And that's all of the Asian countries.